I am ashamed. Mexico City has been a constant neighbor for centuries. It is responsible for much of the food that I cannot conceive of my life without. My home state of California was part of Mexico until 1850 and is still home to more Hispanics than any other ethnic group in the state. Mexico's influence on modern California and America is incalculable and invaluable. But I know embarrassingly little about this city, about this country, other than what has been prepackaged, distilled, and is resilient enough to make the treacherous border crossing from Mexico into American popular culture. I am going to fix that right now. When you stop for a second, take a breath, and look around you, you realize something pretty quickly. Mexico City is gargantuan. The largest metropolitan area in the Western Hemisphere and the biggest Spanish-speaking city on Earth. This is a human hive of staggering proportions. 1,700 neighborhoods are home to the nearly 20 million people that make Mexico City hum. That makes it the biggest city in North America by population. This is a densely packed, highly populous place, no matter how you measure it or how you experience it. And the airport is a great example of this. Benito Juarez International, located just a few miles east of the city. This airport is bursting at the seams. Now, it was due to be replaced by a brand new airport designed by Norman Foster. But after public outcry over spiraling costs and the expropriation of thousands of acres of public land, the project was put on indefinite hold late last year. So for now, this is your gateway to Mexico City. As with pretty much every country in the world, there is a little bit of paperwork to fill out before you arrive in Mexico. And before is the important word here. Fill out this paperwork on the plane, otherwise it's going to delay your entry into the country. Now, you can pre-fill it online before you even leave your home country, but when you print it out, you must do it on a color printer. Otherwise, you'll be sent back to the back of the queue to fill out one of these. The second really important thing to remember is when you go through immigration, they're going to keep one piece of this and they're going to give you back another piece. You must keep hold of this until you leave Mexico. Otherwise, they won't let you leave until you pay a little bit of a fine and spend a long time refilling out all the paperwork. So it'll take 30 seconds to get it right on the airplane. Invest that time. To get from the airport, you can jump in a taxi, for which you can buy a ticket at one of the marked stands or kiosks inside the airport terminal. The journey will cost between 100 and 300 pesos, depending on the type of vehicle you choose, and of course, how far you're going. And the journey will take between 30 and 90 minutes, really depending on the traffic. Now, avoid taxi touts and unlicensed taxis like the plague. Not only will you invariably pay more than you need to, in rare cases they can actually be quite dangerous. So make the right choice. Alternatively, you can use Uber from the airport. Just be sure to select which store to meet your driver at and you'll be good to go. The journey will cost around 180 pesos. How do you move 20 million people around a city all day, every day? By the second half of the 20th century, Mexico City's public transport infrastructure was grinding to a halt. The city was entirely dependent on its overly congested roads and highways. So, in 1967, ground was broken on the Mexico City Metro. Mexico City has one of the most extensive and busiest metro systems in the world. And it's a great way to get around too, because the 12 lines cover most of the city. It's very easy to use despite the lack of English language signs, because the system was designed with illiteracy in mind. So through the use of color and iconography, the whole network is accessible to really everybody. For a system to be a truly effective decongestant, the metro needed to be accessible by all, not just the wealthy or educated. In addition to the easy-to-understand signage, a discount on the standard 5 peso fare has always been available to the unemployed, female heads of household, and low-income students, and it's free for the elderly and the disabled. Democratization of public transport is how you keep 20 million people moving. Mexico City's stored value transit card is the Tarjeta DF. Not only does it work on the metro, but on metro buses and the city's trolleybus and light rail systems too. It can be purchased and recharged at ticket booths or ticket machines in most metro stations, where you can also purchase your single journey metro ticket too. As you go through the turnstile, just tap your tarjeta or insert your ticket to begin your journey. A variety of bus services swarm the city, taking passengers to the nooks and crannies of Mexico City that the metro just can't reach. The government and municipally run metro and RTP buses cost between 2 and 6 pesos, depending on the type of service and how far you're going, but they will take you to any destination along their route. The privately owned, slightly less formal Pasero buses, well, they will take you anywhere, but the routes are a little more fluid and the driving style a little more avant-garde, shall we say, so choose wisely. Metrobus and trolleybus services complete this varied and extensive suite of bus services in Mexico City. All of them start at less than 35 American cents and will, with a little luck, get you where you need to go. Taxis are a great way to get around the city, but you will need to take a few precautions. Local producer and friend of Attaché Enrique Rizzo explains.
I think in general, taxis are a very good way to move around the city. There's a lot of working class people and Mexican people that they don't use public transport. They can afford taxis. And Mexico City, as there are so many cars, sometimes it's even more affordable to only use Uber and taxis rather than owning a car.
So what if you don't have enough signal to hail an Uber? Enrique explains the safer option if you need to grab a taxi the old-fashioned way.
So the safer option was to take taxis from stands. So these official stands, you have the taxis parked, and they are a lot safer, and they would be a bit more expensive, but that way you weren't risking it.
So if you find yourself, as the old saying goes, up shit creek without an Uber, find a taxi stand.
It's always suggestible to use these apps, I would say, and never street taxis.
Ahí vamos de poquito para todos ustedes. El son cubano, por supuesto, aquí en vivo. Salón Los Ángeles, seguimos con mucho más y más y más y más.
Morning in Mexico City, and 20 million people are on the move. Their hard work, in many cases for very low pay, contributes to Mexico City being one of the most productive urban areas on Earth. And as you take your place in this river of humanity flowing across the city, you'll discover what fuels this ultra-productive people. Perla Cristina Flores and her family have been feeding Mexico City from the same spot for over 65 years. But it was Perla's mother, Rosario, who created a dish 20 years ago that turned this humble street food stall into a Mexico City legend, tortas de chilequile. Derided as a culinary abomination when first introduced, tortillas in a roll, who would do such a thing? Tortas de chilaquile are now a beloved staple across the city. Red or green chilaquile stuffed into a French roll, topped with chicken milanesa, cochinita pibil, or shredded chicken. Verde is already sold out, so we are stuck with the rojas, which is just as good. Different flavor, but just as good. Always in line. Much longer around breakfast time, but this is my new favorite Mexican breakfast, or just street food. It's so good. In the 10 years it's been since I left California, where's your guy? I've learned to my eternal heartbreak, the Mexican food just doesn't travel well. The further you move away from Mexico, the less authentic, the less satisfying, and frankly, the less good it becomes, to the point of being unrecognizable and, dare I say, insulting. I've given up trying to find good Mexican food outside of North America. I've been kicked out of enough Mexican and burrito restaurants in London, Hong Kong, and Paris to have learned my lesson. I just cannot take the disappointment anymore. So this brings me pure, unbridled joy. I'm gonna start crying. And if the food doesn't travel well, you better believe I'm going to eat my fill whilst I'm local. Local food expert and cook Nico Garcia is a passionate advocate for Mexico City's street food purveyors, like La Costilla, a mainstay of the city since 1970. Their garlic tostadas are a great start to the conversation. Oh, it's delicious.
Really good, right?
And what doesn't taste better without a splash of salsa? Nico explains the surprising complexity of this classic Mexican accoutrement.
Those salsas don't really have a recipe that you can follow. It's just like a general style. So every salsa you try on any place, any restaurant, any street stand is gonna be different. And what I like to do is what I did just now, to add everything, but not in the same bite. You know, like some drops of one, some drop of the other, so each bite is slightly different.
La Costilla's signature dish is the imposing volcán.
So it's the poblanos, the ribeye, and they're using a type of cheese called queso asadero.
But fear not, the volcán gets its name not from its heat, but from the cascade of melting cheese that tops it.
We wouldn't consider this spicy food, and people actually would add spice to this, yeah.
Generally, most Mexican people like spice. You're brought up on it.
And Mexican people usually start eating spicy food when we're like 2 or 3 years old. That's when you're considered old enough to start with the lowest kind of spice, but your parents will give you candy with a little bit of chile.
And if you're jonesing for some spice, this place will almost certainly be open.
So this place is called Tacos Tony. Tony has the craziest hours. It's easier for me to tell you when these guys are closed than when they're open. So Tony's closes from 5 a.m. till 8 a.m. and that's it. The other 21 hours of the day, this place is in business and like this.
Having such long opening hours gives Tony's a certain advantage over the competition.
So in every taqueria, you know the hours, and you know that you want to be there like 6 hours after they open. You don't want to be there at night because the suadero is going to be dry and overcooked. And if you're too early, it's going to be chewy still. And the great thing about this place is because they work all day long, every few minutes they put a new piece of meat, so anytime you come, you're gonna have a piece that is perfect. Okay?
Suadero, a cut of beef similar to brisket, is placed in a bath of water and fat for several hours until the beef is essentially confit, and it's served with rocket fuel.
In this place we have to be very, very careful with the salsas. They're really spicy, even for Mexican standards. So if it's spicy for Mexicans, for non-Mexican people, it's gonna be really spicy, so be very careful.
Okay. And Nico was not kidding. Wow. Potent. Suadero might be my new favorite style of tacos, but I cannot come to Mexico and not pay my respects to the greatest of all taco styles, al pastor.
The place is really, really unique because actually by day, this is a car mechanic, an auto repair shop. So the place has been open for 1 hour exactly, and you can see how it's already full.
Yeah.
Their biggest hours are actually after people go out drinking. So from 10:30, 11 till 4 a.m., this is absolutely crazy. You have 3 or 4 times as much people as you have right now.
I adore tacos al pastor. The crispy but moist grilled pork, the fleck of tangy pineapple topped with cilantro and chopped onion. Pure Mexican goodness. Holy crap.
Absolutely beautiful.
And now for something pretty special.
A Mexican cantina is a really unique place. So let's go inside and we can see.
Mexican cantinas are the exception to the old drinking rule, eating is cheating.
100 dishes completely free, even if you don't believe it. Come and be convinced. And then over here it says consumo, or consumption, 4, and you have 4 little drinks. This means that in order to eat in this place, you need to order 4 drinks. And it's not per table, it's per person. Wow. But once you order 4, you get free access to the menu and it becomes an all-you-can-eat place. Everything is cooked fresh and really there's no limit.
Nobody is quite sure where cantinas came from, but they sure have their fans.
It's a little plate that clients get after being here 1,500 times. That's 1,500 times. And actually it tells you how long it took them. So these 2 guys, Jose Ponce and Raúl Conde, were here 1,500 times from the 9th of October 92 to the 9th of October 2012. So if you do the math, this means that these people have been drinking at the same place like 3 times a week for almost 30 years.
That's a lot of drink and a lot of food. I was happy just to have tallied my first visit. Just 1,499 to go. After a night of tradition, it feels only appropriate to end the night in the traditional way, with a mezcal nightcap. A common misconception is that mezcal is a form of tequila. On the contrary, as Chef Wen Vera explains.
If you want to name it tequila, you have to produce it in a certain area, which is Tequila Jalisco, it's just a town in Jalisco, and surroundings, and using one single type of agave, which is blue agave.
And so mezcal is a highly varied artisanal creation with an incredible spectrum of flavor. Stemming from the agave plant, mezcal recipes have been mastered and refined from generation to generation. Mezcal has taken a backseat to its more famous cousin for decades. But with such variety in taste and provenance, it's easy to see why mezcal is reclaiming shelf space in bars across Mexico. Mexico's currency is the peso. Now, here's the weird thing. The peso is represented by the dollar sign, but since the dollar sign was first used to represent the Spanish-American peso, it is safe to say that Mexico got there first, so there you have it. This is a very easy city in which to transact. Debit cards and credit cards are widely accepted, and there are ATMs everywhere, which is a great thing because, as with so many other cities in the world, street food vendors and smaller market stall holders will really only accept cash. So with that combination, you really can't go wrong here, and you can enjoy what is generally agreed upon as a very low cost of living. And on that note, let's do the rundown. A cup of beautiful Coyoacan coffee will cost you around 20 pesos. A glass of beautiful Mexican beer will cost you around 40 pesos. And for the most reliable indicator of a nation's cost, the good old Big Mac, you're gonna pay around 52 pesos, or $2.72 as of January 2019 at about 2:30. So the cost of living is very low and the quality is very high. So it's only appropriate to show some appreciation. All right, let's get it over and done with. Tipping. It is absolutely a thing here in Mexico, especially in Mexico City, so do it. 10% in a restaurant if you've had a good meal and good service is the bare minimum, but feel free to do more. And the way it works is simply when they bring your card, you have the option on the card reader machine to select how much you want to tip before you punch in your PIN or sign on the dotted line. In any service environment, hotel, coffee shop, and everything in between, it's also the done thing. A few pesos here and there added to your bill or just in coins will not go amiss, so do it. This city comes with a reputation magnified by the lens of the outsider. Mexico City is quantifiably a safe city compared with many other capital cities. But as friend of attaché Kath Cuevas explains, there are pockets of the city which require a little extra precaution.
Just in Mexico City for the past couple of months, there's been a situation when there's been kidnapping. So as soon as they spot a lady getting out of the subway and walking towards some place, a guy would appear and try to mock her and grab her, and if people would see them fighting, the guy would go like, oh, she's just having an episode, she's fine, she's my girlfriend. So it's like an actual thing.
People won't intervene.
Yeah. So what's happening right now, and has been happening for the past couple of years, is that as soon as we know we're getting out of the house, we report to someone. As soon as we know we're getting out of the coffee shop, we report to someone. As soon as we get into the Uber, we share where we are. Saying that you're okay is part of the survival thing that you have to do here.
I have never fallen in love with a city as quickly as I fell for Mexico City. It was, I can safely say, a revelation. Sure, I arrived with preconceptions and hopes of what this city might be, what it might offer, but with each new sight, sound, smell, and taste, my expectations were humbled. How could anything, anywhere, possibly be this good? Mexico City is everything I want in a city. Hectic, sprawling, loud, creative, friendly, and absolutely friggin' delicious. I will look for every possible excuse or justification to get back here as soon as humanly possible. But until then, I urge you, experience Mexico City, eat its food, meet its impossibly warm and friendly people. You will not be disappointed.